Hello everyone, and welcome to Changeover Tech, where we specialize in HVAC. We do everything DIY, and today we have a service call for a 4-pipe York fan coil unit. Thank you to everyone tuning into Changeover Tech. Today we're working on a 4-pipe York fan coil unit. 2 pipes for heating, 2 pipes for cooling, all year round. We do have building automation controls here, so it is controlled by computer. I can see we got some lights here, so this area has power. I noticed that there is a light on this relay. These are 3 relays, one labeled as F, one for H, one for C. F gotta be for fan, H gotta be for heating, C for cooling. I looked at the thermostat. It's about 55 degrees in the space, set to 74 with the heating symbol on. So I do believe that this automation control system is telling this thing to go on to cooling. This is a VFD for the fan motor, and what I notice here is that over here for the VFD, it's on bypass, so it's bypassing the VFD. And then the actual bypass here, it says it's on hand, so it should be just going all the time. And this is on the on position, and nothing is happening. Let's see if I put it on VFD and auto. Does anything come on this VFD? Does this thing light up or what? I think that should have automatically lit up. So if you're calling for heating, the fan should be on too, because we want heating. You're not gonna get any heat in that case. The actuators are those big red ones there. Look how messed up this looks. This gotta be the cooling side, because over here pipes look a lot better. This is probably the heating side. Let me see if I could, can I see if it says, I can't tell. The cover is actually off of that one. Cover and that one. It would tell you if it's open or not, but either way, let's focus on this fan situation. I'm gonna shift it to off, off, off. Can't open this without it. Looks like there's some screws here. So these 2 are just like little relays, I'd say, for these little controls. Okay, maybe I could do a little something like that. I see a light on in there. There's 1 green light on there, and that's gonna be tied in with this. I can see it is wrapping around a wire. I think that's just sensing current. So basically when the engineer turns on his computer and turns his unit on, you'll see a reading of amperage. Over there I see we got 3 fuses. Here's our on and off. We got a transformer here and a motor starter. All right, let's see if we even got power coming in, because right now nothing's happening on this side. Fuses there, motor starter back there, but hold on. So right now we got 2 big cables mainly coming in here. This one right here, there's a red cable. This right here, so that's the fire alarm company. If there's a fire in the building, it's gonna shut down this fan. Follow this. It goes into here, AC C1. This is the FSD. I see a green light. I feel like green usually indicates good. It's tied into these other, there's another relay here. Pretty sure that's a relay. And let's see, DDO-36. I think these are for other things. And then damper control. Everything is green. Everything's like flashing green here, and that's a steady green. Those 2 wires come in right here. We could probably check over there, but let's start with main power. This is the main power coming in. I see those wires. Where is it going to? Comes in right here. Let's see, volts AC. It's a three-phase system. We got 3 wires. Got 208 from L1 to L2, L1 to L3 we got 208, and L2 to L3. All right, incoming power is there, so we can rule out the breaker. Let's open up, let's turn this on. Let's make sure that control's even working. So let's make sure that we got 3-phase coming out of it. On the bottom we got another 3. Got 208, 208, 208. Okay. Power's confirmed. Thermostat's calling. We don't have power on this relay. Oh wow. Well, I'll tell you why we don't have power for that relay. Look, Chris, there's no control. This thing is not even wired. So we can get that out of the equation. So that wouldn't light up regardless. So somewhere through here, through this control, would the fan turn on through their system. I don't know how it's wired exactly, but it has to go through that. I would check those fuses. But right now, turn the system off. Make sure there's no power coming out of there. So we're safe. 0, 0, 0, and then to ground. Not long enough. I'm sure we're good. Yeah, there's no power there. This thing is doing its thing. All right, got a fuse puller. Okay. I got 3 fuses there. Continuity. If you hear the beep across, we have continuity and this fuse is good. Hold this. Fuse is good. Next. Fuse is good. Next. Fuse is good. So motor or anything didn't trip the fuses. Let's put those back and continue troubleshooting. All right, if we turn this on, should be power. But the thing is, what do we have it set to? All right, off at the moment. So VFD, let's bypass that. I want to see, does the contactor plunge in? Excuse me, the motor starter. Motor starter is basically a large contactor with an overload. All right, bypassed VFD, and let's put it on hand. Does it plunge in? No. Nothing happens on hand. Who's setting power for this control circuit? Let's leave it on bypass and hand. That fan should come right on. But if those contacts don't plunge in, the motor's never gonna get power. I'm thinking this could be a control issue. What about this transformer? Got 2 wires on the bottom. Is the transformer getting power? This is a very simple transformer. 100, so we got one wire going in here. The other one to neutral. We got 120, I don't know if you guys can see, we got 120 going to it. Then the other wire, whoa, look. This wire right here goes nowhere. Hold on a second, that wire goes nowhere. Then the yellow also goes nowhere. But why is there nothing protecting that? If we got power coming in, there should be power coming out of that. I don't know if I'm gonna get a good reading like this. But those two need to be capped. I found one here. So hold on, this transformer is not being used anymore. Neither is that relay. It's gotta be something with those controls turning on that fan. Did the overload trip? Hand bypass. Well, it's on here. Press that. Did that trip? Not doing nothing. Alright, I turned the power off. Another fan's in here. I feel heat in here. Look at that stain. What is all that? Is that oil or something? Maybe grease was coming out of that motor. It's like somebody was messing around in here already. They don't know what's going on. Maybe the valve is open, that's why there's heat. It's an old Baldor motor. You know what? Motor's not hot. It was never getting power. Alright, power's back on. Got these on off. I just want to check this thing right here that had the fuses. The fuses were good, nothing blew. Looks like some sort of transformer. So let's see. Let's check the two wires up top. Got 208. And then the two wires on the bottom got 120. So it is some sort of transformer looking thing. I should have 0 volts across these fuses. Another way to check. Yeah, so power's passing through the fuses. The fuses are good. Got 120 on one side and 208 on the other. I'm gonna rule that out. It's something. Could these switches be bad and not turning on our motor starter? The thing is, I need to get in there. How can I take this out? I'm gonna have to take off this plate and pull it out to get back in there. What a horrible design. You got all the space in this world, this giant unit. You can't give us proper access to the motor starter, the main like component here. That's our starting component for this unit. And then if you see this conduit, it's these wires here. The hell was that? Something's loose in here. Hold up. I think that's the motor starter starting. Hold up a second. Let me put this on hand and bypass. I don't like the idea of this, but let me try it. No. Nothing turned on. What does that click, man? What the hell is that? There's something in there. What the? What am I touching? Man. You guys heard that click? What is that? What the? Not even doing it anymore. Might be some sort of loose connection here. It's gotta be. When I did all that, something's loose in here. It doesn't do it anymore. Jeez, man. I got a green light.
You know, now that you mentioned makes sense because what here this morning, you know what's working. And as soon as you start testing.
Can I come and see?
Yeah, let's go. Oh, fuck.
Oh man, my thing wasn't recording, but I checked this fire cable. With the power off, I checked across the two, with it connected right there, and it was open. There was no continuity. Next thing you know, the engineer came in, and I was like, "Hey, man, did your fire alarms go off today?" And he was like, "Oh man, they were just testing it today." So I looked on the fire panel, and it was actually off. All right, let's put it on bypass and hand for now. Let's see what happens. All right, hold on a second. It's on. Oh, that don't sound good on the startup, but it started, man. Yo, man. All right, well. That's awesome. You can hear the fan moving now. All right, we gotta turn this off though. Startup sounds horrendous. All this, man, I mean, there's no power going to it, and honestly wouldn't do anything. But this is not gonna close. All right, all right. Let's close that up. Wow, so I was just looking at that for a quick second and he ended up walking in, man. So the recording got all messed up. I want to put it now. I want it to run off the VFD in, right? Run off the VFD and in auto. Nothing there yet. Okay. What's up with that thing? It's in VFD and auto. There's something going on with this. Sounds horrible. So we could have the system in auto. Yeah, it's running.
The motherfucker left the whole first floor off.
He left it all off?
None of the unit was in the first floor was working.
Alright, this thing is pretty loose. It also starts at full speed because we put this system in VFD. Over here, when you put it, the bypass is on auto, so the machine works off auto. But instead of working off the VFD, because when you try to power it, it gets nothing. Nothing lights up, nothing. They might have got rid of it. It only works when you put it in bypass. That's another issue, but we spoke with the engineer. He says, well, he doesn't know what that's about, but he just wants this thing working. It's currently 18 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so a little bit of heat would totally help right now. But the sound of that belt or that pulley, that motor, I mean, it sounds terrible. It really sounds terrible, but he said he's gonna get his guys to do it. So this thing don't look good, man. And this got grease flying everywhere. It probably over greased, or who knows when the last time they did maintenance. Those wires. All right, well, he said his guys are gonna finish that up, so I guess we can let them put the cover back on, let them change the belt, let them grease it. Let us go home because we're in overtime right now. All right. That startup is horrendous. That's why you want that VFD on, so it can modulate the frequency, so you can start the fan motor slow and then build it up. As far as troubleshooting this, it's my first time actually getting on this side of the system where we're having issues with the fans. I believe these things are always good, but you know, eventually I would have figured it out. It's not like any traditional method. I didn't really have anyone teaching me anything traditional here. I just kind of know electricity and controls and have good background in technical things and HVAC, so kind of just freestyle it. But one thing told me, hey, check that fire cable, and I was checking with when the power was off or anything like that. I was just seeing if there was power across. There wasn't, so I checked continuity and there was no continuity. Turned all the power on, then I checked between the two and I had 120 volts across, so it wasn't closed, so it was an open circuit. So apparently they were doing a test, some kind of smoke test or something on the system today to make sure everything turns off, and the guys the guys never turned it all back on. So when we walked over to the fire panel, we saw that the unit was tripped, and yeah, at the end of the day we got it done. That one was pretty interesting, and we're gonna wrap this one up here. But I got a good one for you guys. Come check this out. Got another unit here. And then you guys remember this, the nightmare unit? Check it out. The nightmare is back once again. We did a quick fix because they couldn't shut the water off. We got water everywhere still. Here's my little setup I built here. So it kept dripping, dripping, dripping. So I said, listen, instead of getting water all over the room, I built this little setup, so let it drain. But look at it now. I put this pan there. Put this pan there so it can catch the water and drain. But look, now it's just leaking around everywhere, and it got worse. That's so bad, and it's hot water. I feel it's steaming right now. They can't turn it off right now. They can't turn it off. I also busted this wall open, everything. I got a couple videos on this. We had 2 attempts of shutting this water off, and they couldn't figure it out, so I couldn't make the repair. So they're gonna try to attempt it next week when the temperature gets a little warmer. I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this. It's really hard to get in there. Can't really get in through there. So what I would need to do is crawl up through here, crawl inside there, and try to work from there. And it's seriously a nightmare. This VFD works, so it is what it is. And yeah, commercial HVAC. As far as this, we're gonna wrap this one up here. If anyone found this video interesting or helpful, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe as I come out with new videos every week. And I'll catch you all next time.